Okay, time for a mailbag video. I've got 4 things here. So let's see what we've got. Really? All this packaging, all that packaging just for these. That's quite impressive. Yeah, okay. Some of my pet peeves is excessive packaging. Anyway, okay, let's give it that. So here are some little ferrite cores to go around cables. I think these are 7mm or something like that. So it can always come in handy, you know, if you want to try and suppress some RF. Great on like a test bench where you got these cables everywhere, you know, power cables and stuff. Just clamp some of these on power cables and just helps to keep the noise down. You know, always have a few of them. I wanted to use them the other day and I couldn't find any, so I bought some more. And then of course I found them the other day. These ones are ribbon cable ones. So the idea of these, you can stick on a ribbon cable like on my project radio, which I'll just dig up. The theory is that I could slide the ribbon cable through one of these, and that way it helps to suppress any RF coming through these cables. So I could, like this end here, I could, you know, stick it on that end there, and it will just help to suppress any noise. You know, every little bit's going to help. These are relatively cheap, and all these cables, because you can see this is a massively long cable, and I bought a bunch of cables like this. What I'm going to do is also use the plug at one end and cut the cable off the length I need, and put another plug on the other end. So when I cut that off, I can slip one of these ferrites on. So that's the plan anyway. So let's say every little bit's going to help with noise. When it comes to communications gear, you have to be kind of careful about that. So yeah, so that's those. What's the mess on? Hold on a second. Okay, so let's have a look. What's in here? This is my revision 2. Let's get these off. Right, revision 2 of my boards. So this is to replace the existing one I've got here. So it's got some slight tweaks on it. I've now added, well, I've messed up here. Well, I forgot to put a pull down resistor on the switch section. I'll just bridge one across there. Now it's got one over here instead. Alright, so it's got that there. And I'd also forgotten to do series resistors for the actual display. So now I've got some resistors here, which goes to each segment of the display. So I've ordered some resistor arrays, so I shall try those out and stick them on, and that might reduce a bit of noise as well by reducing the current draw from the display, where it's, you know, a bit noisy from that. So that's good. I've been waiting for those to turn up, so I can probably get on this starting to rebuild one of those. So that's awesome. What's the next thing here? Oh, I bet. What the hell are these? Right. Okay. These are ferrite beads. Right, so these are actually what I'm planning on using. This is good. That's good timing. I can show you that. Now, you get these ferrite beads in different resistances, right? So I have got some 300 ohm beads. If I can get to the packet, you can see it's a bead array. See that there? Hopefully. Right, it's an array of beads. So these are intended to go on here. Right, see it's a that's an array there, and that's the bead that's supposed to go on it. So great, I've got the parts I need to actually make these. I was waiting for these too, so that's awesome. All good. Last thing, I've got an idea. Oh, my knife fell apart. That's no good. Hold on. Yes, not at all dangerous. Right. Okay. Got an idea what this is from the feel of the bag. It's a LED strip. It's supposed to be waterproof. I hope it is, because I'm going to be using it outside. Yeah, this is a yellow LED, well, supposedly. Who knows? I can't be Chinese. Comes with some little end pieces as well, which is great. Because I need to cut this strip anyway, so I've got to. It's got tape in here, I think, or something. Yeah, it's very different to one I've already got. Actually, that's interesting. It's got its own little silicone sleeve. I hope that's not an issue. It's very different to anything I've had before. Usually, it's been like the actual LED strip has been coated in some kind of silicone or something. I'm not quite sure what they coat them in. And then they stick the strip on the back, you know, and that's usually it. But this is actually inside a proper sleeve. And the 3M strip was on the inside. Well, what good is that? I need the 3M strip on the outside so I can stick it on. Oh dear, that's not what I had in mind. That's just, how dumb is that? So yeah, it's got 3M strip, and it said it had 3M strip. Great. It's on the inside. I can't use it. I need it to be on the outside so I can stick the thing onto a bloody surface. Oh mate, how dumb is that? Let's see if it lights up. I've got a power supply on already, so let's have a look. Here we go. It lights up at least. Anyway, that's not what I wanted. I'm going to have to get some different stuff. This just isn't what I wanted. How odd. Yeah. It's... go figure. Alright, that's my bag for now. I'll go buy more. Have a good one. Catch you later. Alright, a bit more Valbag video. Had a few things turn up. One of these I was waiting for as a part for a power supply, which took, I think it's about 3 weeks for the guy even sent it. And then he overcharged me postage, as it turns out. Anyway, we'll get onto that. Let's see what this is. Sounds a bit rattly, which is concerning. Oh, okay. Right. Interesting. So, let's see what the gift is first, shall we? Oh, it's one of these pens. Alright. So, yes, it came from China. So, it's one of these pens from China. Yeah, I don't know. Kids might like it. Okay. So, this is. I get the light on it a bit better. Can I do that? Here we go. That'll work. 10 megahertz OCXO. It's supposed to run from 5 volts. Now I purchased this for the Raycole Dana nanosecond frequency counter, the 1991, which I repaired the buttons on, which is in a previous video if you haven't seen that already. And the idea with this, look at this, wow. You can tell it came from China, can't you? Right, the idea with this is that I was going to change the internal reference to an OCXO. It has a 5 volt supply, which is rated at quite a good current. I did some checks on the based on the circuit diagram for the unit, for the regulator which is used, and it's supposed to handle plenty of current, so it's fine. It can handle like 10 amps or something stupid like that, I think it was. So it is designed around running an OCXO as well, not just the internal reference already in it, because that's one of the options. So now I found a 5 volt OCXO. Well, this is supposed to be a 5 volt OCXO. I guess we'll find out when I go to try it out. And this is, ex-China, so it's, a used thing. It's not new. But look what they've done. They've actually just got a circuit board here, and they've just cut it off. So I wonder what that used to be in. Very interesting. I mean, there's obviously all these other parts stripped off, or maybe never even fitted. Who knows? It's got some dents on it and stuff, so it's probably okay though. But I need to get the specs on this and find out about powering this thing up. Yeah, that's just incredibly interesting. Just cut the circuit board out around it. I suppose that's what they do for recycling though, just, keep the bits they want. And have someone desolder it later on, and I guess they never got around to desoldering it later on. I will take it off this board though, so I'll do a video on this actually. I'll strip off the board and test it and see how that goes. Although I've got that frequency counter for sale now, so it seems a bit silly now to put this into it. It works fine once it's warmed up. It just takes a bit of a warm up period, and it's certainly be a lot more accurate. If I was keeping it, I'd definitely be putting this in. Do I or don't I? That's the question. Do I make a board and put it in just to make a board? Maybe. So I'm likely just to keep this as a 5 volt OCXO, and just I'm sure I'll use it sometime. Okay. Next thing. This, interestingly, says gloves, but I don't remember buying any gloves recently. I bought gloves a year ago, or 10 months ago or something. So I don't know, that's a bit odd. I don't remember what this is. It certainly isn't gloves. Okay, right. This is actually a prompt from. Let's move this out of the way. From someone we know asking about solar panels and having a phone charger in like a motorhome, right? So you can use a solar panel just to charge your phone up. That's all it's going to do, right? This is a standalone charger, because apparently they've got a solar panel, but they don't actually have a way of charging their phone currently, right? So it got me thinking about making a little pullable unit which will do that. So I'll give an example of this one here. Think about what's actually required. It's not that much, right? So here's a cigarette lighter socket. So you plug the solar panel into that, because a lot of solar panels are smaller pulled ones, have got cigarette lighter sockets on them. I don't know why, because you can't actually charge a battery through that, because when you turn the key off it disconnects it. Anyway, I won't go into that. And it also has these USB sockets on it, right? So all you've really got to do in order to do this is link from the positive to positive, negative to negative, put it in a box. There you go, one solar panel to phone charger. Done. You know, it's like easy. So I'm going to look into this and so this one version, right, that's just a straight through. I did buy another version as well. These are relatively cheap, which is why I've gone ahead and just done it. Right, so it's the same thing, 12 volt socket, USB socket, right, exactly the same, no difference. Well, this one also has a voltmeter on it, which I thought that's also good for solar panels, because, you know, if you're charging with solar panel, you want to actually make sure you're getting power coming out, you know. So I don't actually know how much power this meter's going to use yet. I should actually hook that up. Let's just do that now. This won't take much at all. I've got my power supply already on because it's running lights. Let's get some more power out of this. Negative to negative. Positive to positive. Okay, yep, that says 8 volts, which is what my power supply is currently set to for that output. Let's give it a bit more power. So there you go, 12 volts, 13, 14, 15, 16. It's supposed to go to 24 volts or something, so you know, I'm quite comfortable going up that high. So yeah, that's fine. If I do a smaller step, there you go, 100 millivolt steps. That's all absolutely fine. So yeah, it's fairly responsive. It's not super responsive, but it's not bad. Yeah, it's not too bad. So yeah, it's alright. So that's a good possibility. So I can actually just have that connected up. Now this is using at say, let's put the voltage back up again. Let's go 15 volts is likely what you're going to get a solar panel. Once it's under load, that's doing about 20 milliamps just to run that voltmeter. So let's just hook onto the USB socket. How much power is that thing consuming in itself? That is consuming 22 milliamps. So you just to run the LED that's on it. Yeah, that's a bit of wasted power, isn't it, when you're running from solar? 40 milliamps on a little solar panel. Yeah, I don't know. Is it really worth it? I don't know. Yeah, let's just get my other tester. Hold on. Everybody should have one of these things. Everyone should have one. If the clips don't keep popping off, it'd be a bit easier. Right. Okay, so bring this a bit closer, if you can see it. There you go. So it's doing 5.3 volts out. So that's a little bit high, but that's okay. That's you know, it's not too bad. It's within 10%, which is probably, you know, probably well within expectable limits. Expected limits, sorry. So yeah, I mean that's okay. I suppose I could do some tests on loading, couldn't I? I actually don't have a USB load. That's something I don't have. I should get one. So I can't load test this right now. So it's something I have to look into later on. I might do a video on that if I do load testing, just to review it a bit further. But yeah, I mean that's the plan anyway. So you could either have, you know, a straight through, just that in a box, you know, just power in, power out. maybe with a couple of terminals on the side, maybe if you've got a wired version or something instead, that might be possible. And well, this version with the voltmeter on it, which obviously uses a little bit more power, but 20 milliamps isn't too bad, but it depends on what the solar panel capacity is. So yeah, that's the plan of those. Right, let's get those out of the way. Next thing. You notice on here it says, hopefully you can see it in the camera, just postage, let's get a bit closer, £19.70. I was charged £60. Was it £57? I think the guy said, something like that. So it's you know, I'm not happy about that. Oh well, it stinks of smoke. Right, it's well packaged, you know, I'll give them that. It's supposed to work. Now this is the power supply for the HP8647, which I recently repaired. Is it what, 8647? Yeah, A647, are you? Yeah, that's right. Because that capacitor that's in there is blown. And what I was right, 0.047 UF. Great, I got it right. This absolutely stinks of cigarette smoke. It absolutely stinks. The guy said it works. I will have to power this up and prove it. And that should be pretty easy. I'll do that now. I should do that now. Let me get a cable. I can hook it up onto here with this. Which side's the conductors on? A bit better one way than the other. That way. Right. Look at that. Fits on the perfect, just like that. Nice and convenient. Right, power it up. See if it goes bang. Okay, no bang so far. Let's test voltages. Let's see if it's going. I don't remember which connection's which now. I really don't remember. I'm sure I figured it out. Now, stick one there, stick one there. It's 30 volts. 30 volts. 30 volts. 35 or 36. 36. 36. 36, 21, 21, 37 or 36, 50. So I have to double check and see what it's supposed to do, but there is power coming out. So yeah, it looks like it's kind of working. I don't know what voltages are supposed to be. I've completely forgotten. So, yeah, anyway, so it powers, at least. It hasn't gone bang. That's always a good start. So this can be put aside now as a spare. Right, so it's not completely wasted. I spent more money than I wanted. I think it was about $150 or something on this. But I thought, well, if I can't repair the other power supply, it's more gone than just that one capacitor. Then I might have trouble with it. And I thought, well, they're renowned for blowing up, so I got another one. So at least I know that you know, this works. At least it seems to. So I'll put this one away as a spare, and you know, that'd be good, because the HP I've got as a spare in itself, as a backup to my Marconi, which sits just here, and I actually quite like that HP. I've got my Fluke 6060B for sale. I'm selling that one I've repaired in the previous video. Well, I think I did was it 4 videos on it, something like that. I think I did 4 videos on that unit to repair that one. It only turned out to be a couple of faulty ICs, so it wasn't really that hard. The hard bit was finding the problem. But yeah, so I've actually got that for sale now, because I had that sitting under the desk as a spare unit, because I need to have 2 in case one blows. I need to have a spare. I always have to have one that works. So I'm selling that one. I'm going to keep the HP instead. So anyway, I'm digressing. So yeah, projects on the go. So I'll do a little video on this. I just need to research the pinout on this thing and work out what they actually are. Yeah, so I'll do a video on this. Right, that's my bag. I'll be careful what I touch on this because it's now charged up. So catch you later. Have a good one. Right, time for a little mailbag video, and got a few items here, so let's see what we've got. If a pile, we've got 7 things, 6 things. These are some ESP modules, I think. Well, they're Wi-Fi modules anyway. ESP8266 mod. Someone's going to play around with. There was it's an idea I had, so I was going to play around with those. It's supposed to be, is it Wi-Fi and Bluetooth? I can't remember. No, it's 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi, so there you go. Probably see the markings on there. It's got a micro USB on there, which you'll see. That might feature in an upcoming video. It might not. Just some ferrites for noise suppression. It's getting a bit low on them. Got 5 there, isn't it? So these are, what size are these? I think they're 5mm, something like that. So what's nice about these is just get them, clip them around the wire. You know, anything's already there. Nice and convenient. And, you know, it can help them sometimes. What's next? Right, I saw this on someone's channel. Whose channel was that? I don't remember. Can't remember who had that. It might be in, was it Voltlog? I'm not sure. I can't remember. Anyway, it's a little ruler. And no, it's not that AVE one. It's DIY more. What I liked about it is it's got the various packages. So if you're not sure about package size, at least you can physically see it, and you can verify that it's, you know, it's a certain package. So trace where it's various packages here. What the hell they are? They're tiny. You know, SOT package D-pack, D2 D-pack. SOT 23, C70, SMC, SMB, SMA, crystal packages, SOPs, QFN, QFP, SOIC. Yeah, so and there's hole sizes here as well, drill sizes. So I thought that's a really nice visual and physical check of, you know, when you're creating circuitry and making PCBs. You know, sometimes you're not quite sure about the package size. You know, you might see the spec sheet and go, oh, it's, you know, it's a QFN or whatever, and you go, oh, okay, well, there it is. Right? So it gives you an idea what the package actually is, because sometimes on a PDF or something you can't visualize it. It may have measurements here, but sometimes it's still not. So with this you can just go straight to it. It's just nice and easy. So that's why I got that. I thought it'd be quite a nice thing. I don't remember where I got it from. It'll be AliExpress, I'm sure, but it could have been eBay. I can't remember. But if I remember, if I can figure out where I got it from, I'll put the link in the description and stuff. Actually, I might think about doing cards. There was cards up in a corner of the screen up there somewhere. Maybe look at doing that. Last time I requested that, for feedback on if people wanted it or not. I don't think I got anyone respond. So, usual thing. So I didn't really bother doing much more of that because nobody seemed to be that worried about getting links. And a couple of people have asked on videos for links to things. Voltlog was one of them. He purchased some film, which I had one of my videos, and he actually commented on it in his about seeing it in mine. So that's quite good. Right, some inductors, which I don't remember what they were. I have to measure them. I can't tell from that code. I have to measure what they are. These are inductors which I thought I might need for my EP4 project for noise suppression, just to keep RF out of things. So yeah, they'll probably use for that. I think there's that one lot in there. Alright, next. Let's just do something differently. Yes. I'm going to open this way up. I'm not sure they put in 2 packages, but okay, some Chinese 6-inch speakers, or 6.5-inch speakers. Yeah, that doesn't really. Yeah, okay. These are stated as being 80-watt speakers, right? RMS. Says it on the back. But that magnet is extremely small for an 80-watt speaker. Yeah, I'm kind of skeptical of that. That's the kind of magnet you'd get on an 8-watt speaker, not an 80-watt speaker. So we'll see. I'll try it and see. It's going onto a 50-watt stereo, so if they blow up, we know it's not 80 watts. That's what you get anyway. They're cheap. Well, cheapish. We'll see. And next thing. Right. A bit of a ding on that corner, but it's probably fine. Come open. There we go. Let's have a look. Super HD 1296p car recorder. 1296p. Oh, that's right. It's a wide angle one or something, wasn't it? I can't remember. Yeah. Might have to bring the camera lower. Hang on, because of the light. Hold on, let's move it down a bit. Okay, here we go. So there's the specs: 1260 by 1080, 2304, 1296, 1920 by 1080, 60 frames. So the specs say it's something reasonable. The actual AliExpress description wasn't that clear about what it could do. It's a bit of a gamble. One of the reasons I chose this one because it's got a 64GB capacity for the SD card. A lot of them only get up to 32GB, and with getting SD cards now, it's like 128. You know, it's just a bit of huge restriction, especially when it overwrites itself over a few hours or so. Let's bring it back in a bit closer. Here we go. So built-in GPS. That's another reason. Oh, it says optional. Why is built-in GPS optional? That doesn't make sense. Better have GPS. That's one of the reasons I bought it. Yeah. Well, I don't avoid too much of the manual, but look, example pictures of something which wasn't recorded by that camera. Oh, GPS. There we go. Okay, maybe it's the software which is optional rather than the GPS itself. There's other languages. So, right, let's have a look at it. This is pretty small. There we go. That's not bad size. It's fairly compact, and that's quite nice. F2.9 to 2. Is that? I don't know. I don't understand that bloody camera lingo. That's not me. Let's have a look in here. So it's fairly compact and quite nice. Accessories. Let's have a look what we got here. This is to replace one which is in my wife's car. She's got a really cheap one in there, which has been okay. You would have seen footage from it in some other videos. And yeah, when I've done my dashcam videos, you would have seen footage from her car there. Let's just sit. Hold on, it's not quite sitting right. Yeah, cameras. Here we go. Got to get this in, haven't we? Now, so it's a USB to mini. USB mini. It's a square one, so that's the mini. Cable there. Here's a cigarette lighter socket. Another mini connector, obviously power supply, and a window mount. GPS is in the window mount. Okay, alright, so that's how it connects up. So there's obviously a data connection through there, and the USB goes on the end of this, on the mount, so that's actually quite nice and tidy. I quite like that. Hopefully the window mounting options aren't too limited. Let's have a look. So it clips in there like so, and then it has this adjustment, it would seem. Just seems to, oh yeah, that's nice. Quite stiff pivot actually, that's quite nice. You want a quite a stiff pivot, you don't want the thing moving around. So that's quite good, it's got a good wide range of angle there. So it should cover any windscreen, any kind of situation. That's good. And that is how you lock it down. That's quite good actually, it's a nice design. That's nice and easy. So so when you turn that, it pulls the sucker down. So instead of having a separate lever, it's based off this piece, the GPS bit mounted on it. The only restriction I can see here with this is that because this then ends up having to be this way up, you have to have the wire coming at the top, so you can't put it too close to the top of the windscreen. But that probably isn't really an issue in reality, because usually they're down a foot or so on the windscreen, really up right at the very top anyway, so it's probably not really an issue. But that's good. And that's HDMI and USB output on there as well. Microphone. There's a card slot just there on the side, no card in it yet. I think it was supposed to come with one. Yes, it does. It's in the bottom of the box. Some menu buttons or something there. It's got LEDs. Yeah, LEDs, 4 LEDs on it. I don't know how well they're going to work, so if you look at it straight on, they'll actually be casting shadow in the centre because there's nothing in the centre here. But that's, that don't really do much anyway, I don't think. And buttons on the top, which is a bit of a shame because that would make it hard to see because you can't actually see what they are from here. So there's a bit of a design failure there, I think. Yeah, I think that's power button. There's that menu and M and record. So I don't know, maybe there's something on the screen which will show what they do. Who knows? But it's not too bad looking. And here is a disc in Russian. Now Russians are known for hacking and stuff like that. Was it lens? No, it's lenses. That's different. Sorry, I'll get it right. That's a different lens. It's a polarized lens cover. Put screws on. That's right. I remember now. Here we go. So this is because you polarise lights, it actually gets rid of a lot of glare. So I think I'll stick that on now and just try it as it is, and that actually turns around so you can change the direction of polarisation. It does make it darker though, so we'll have to see if that's an issue. I'll have to play around with that, but it's quite a nice little, you know, optional thing there, you know. I mean, this was not that expensive. I don't know exactly what it was, but I will have to go back and look. I don't think it was that bad. And 64 gig. Oh, there's a software for it there. Alright, so you can use the software to get the video off it and you know, see the GPS location and speed and stuff like that. And good old Toshiba 64 gig card. Micro CX C UHS 1, 90 megabytes a second potential. So I won't open that yet. So but yeah, I mean, this actually looks like a reasonable unit. That's just from AliExpress, and it doesn't feel cheap. You know, it feels as good as anything you'd buy in a shop normally. Right? It feels quite good. Pill layer there. I'll leave it on for now. Yeah, I will have to maybe do a review on that or something when I actually go to install it. But yes, it's interesting. It does this larger size. Where's that page gone? I lost it. There we go. So is that 2560 by 1080. So it's extra wide screen. Yeah, but it can do 60 frames at 1080, which is pretty impressive. And that's actually probably good for a car camera, because if you look at dash cam footage, when you're reviewing footage, as you would have seen, I've done a bit of it. Sometimes, you know, between each frame, it's a big jump in distance on a car, you know, and you might, although you think 30 frames is pretty quick, but when you actually see a moving object going through 30 frames, especially when it's like an oncoming car, you miss huge bits of image, you know, because, you know, it might be plate's unreadable, then plate is too far past you can't see it anymore, you know. So 60 frames is probably going to be really good for a dash cam, so I might actually set it to that mode and see how it goes. And although being 60 frames means it's going to use more data, it'll take up more storage space, it might be better quality, so I think I'll probably try that option rather than going widescreen. So anyway, that's enough of that for now. Let me know what you think. If you do want links to certain things, let me know, and we can go from there, and I can post stuff if you want to see it. Let's get mailbag stuff in here. Here we go. Need a screenshot. Hey, need a screenshot. Right, yeah. Have a good one. Catch you later. Remember to subscribe if you're not. And down there, somewhere. Bye.